Hey y'all! Alright, we are back to the videos. We have to learn something new. We have 2 weeks until spring break, alright? And we are gonna, well, it's actually not learning something new. We're just starting some new material as opposed to lines and coordinate planes. We're actually today gonna mostly be reviewing stuff we already know about triangles. Let me talk you through 3 slides. First off, Mr. Wamsted, could you hit pause on that video and let them copy this down? Thanks. You're looking good today. All right, so here we go. We are going to classify a triangle. To classify means to name and organize, all right? You might know that word from biology if you've ever talked about classifying life forms like animals or whatever. You might know it from somewhere else, but anyway, we're gonna classify these triangles. We're gonna name and organize. We can classify a triangle in 2 ways. We can classify it by sides. We can also classify it by angles. Let's take by sides first. All these words should look familiar. There are 3 ways to classify a triangle by sides: an equilateral triangle, an isosceles triangle, and a scalene triangle. Fun fact, I tried to name each of my 4 children isosceles Wamsted. My wife would not have it. So, an equilateral triangle has 3 sides congruent. These little tick marks signify to us that the sides are congruent, meaning they're the same size and shape. An isosceles triangle has only 2 sides congruent. Notice it only has 2 tick marks, kind of like the letter A, all right, with a little base at the bottom. And then a scalene triangle has no sides congruent. Every triangle has to be one of these 3 types. Either all its sides are congruent, 2 of its sides are congruent, or none of its sides are congruent. Equilateral, isosceles, scalene. Let's come over here to by angles. We can also classify a triangle by angles. There are 3 types of ways to classify a triangle by angles. It can have all acute angles, meaning all the angles are less than 90 degrees. That's 70 degrees, 60 degrees, 50 degrees. If all the angles are less than 90 degrees, we call it an acute triangle because it has 3 acute angles. If one of the angles is greater than 90 degrees, we call that an obtuse triangle because it has an obtuse angle. So if all the angles are less than 90, if they're all acute, we call it an acute triangle. If one of the angles is above 90, we call it obtuse because it has an obtuse angle. And if one angle equals 90, we call it a right triangle. We talked about this a lot already earlier this semester. So there are 3 ways to classify a triangle by angles. Acute, everything less than 90. Obtuse, there's one greater than 90. And right, there's one that equals 90. As a matter of fact, we can mix these 2 and we can classify them both ways. We are not going to do that today, all right? But it's not that complicated. So today we can classify a triangle by sides, we can classify a triangle by angles, and let us move on now to a couple of types of questions we're going to do. We're going to do some classifying, and we're also going to answer these 2 types of questions. Bear with me. The most important fact that you can learn about triangles is on the board right now. It is the only thing I need you to write on your notebook, is that sentence with a star, all right? You can skip the rest because I'm going to put that on the board. You're going to do problems with that. But you need to write the sentence with the star. All the angles in a triangle always add up to 180 degrees. I am not even going to pause it, all right? I'm just going to take a deep breath. And you are going to copy that sentence down while I continue to talk. All the angles in a triangle always add up to 180 degrees. Okay? So this leaves us with a couple types of questions we can answer. The first type of question we can answer is we're going to be asked, do the angles 30, 50, and 100 degrees make a triangle? Or what about 18, 65, and 100? If they give you 3 angles, they're going to ask you, does this make a triangle? It's a very easy question to ask. You just add them up and see if you get 180. If the 3 angles add to 180, boom, you have a triangle. 30 plus 50 plus 100 does equal 180, so yes, it is a triangle. But if we come over here, 18 plus 65 plus 100 equals 183. It does not equal 180, so it is not a triangle. So not just any 3 angles makes a triangle. I will say that again. Not just any 3 angles makes a triangle. You've got to have them add up to 180. If they add up to 180, it is a triangle. If they do not add up to 180, it is not a triangle. Very simple, just doing some adding. Our last question looks like this. That is our last question. This is a skill you might know already. It is the most important skill that we are going to learn today, how to find a missing angle in a triangle. All right, you can see here we have a triangle. It has angle J is 50 degrees. Angle R is 75 degrees. Notice I started calling the angles by their letters. Angle W is not listed. We are going to find angle W. It's not hard. All right? Come up here to the question with the stars. What is the measure of angle W? That's what that little M means, measure. What is the measure of angle W? That's what that little crook means, angle. I'm dropping knowledge on you here. A lot of stuff we know from before. What is the measure of angle W? Super easy, 2 steps. Step 1, add the angles you know. If I add up angle J plus angle R, angle J is 50. Angle R is 75. I add them up, I get 125. That's step 1, add the angles you know. Step 2, probably you already did this, you're out ahead of me thinking, you're going to subtract from 180. Meaning you take what you know, the 125, you take it away from 180, and you have 65 left. That's got to be what this is. Why? Because all 3 angles have to add up to 180. Powerful fact. So if the 3 angles, you take the 2 that you know, add them up, subtract from 180, so the measure of angle W is 65 degrees. That's it. That's all we're doing today. So run back real quick and check out the classifying. We're going to do some classifying. Hold on. By sides and by angles. We're going to take some angle measures and say, do they equal, do they equal a triangle? Whoop. If they add up to 180, or do they not equal a triangle if they don't add up to 180? And then we're going to find a missing angle in a triangle. One of the most important skills you'll ever learn. And maybe you've learned it already, but if not, this is it. It is a skill that will come up over and over again. And now, that's it. It's time to go do some math, I believe. All right? Yeah, I said it all. All right. Y'all have a good day.